Hello, this is Isabel, and today I am going to be working on an art journal page. I am a teacher, and my first official day back is tomorrow. The kids start next month. We will be working from home because of the virus. There are many questions and concerns around the nation regarding face to face school and distance learning. The questions are from everyone because who is not affected with education in some way? Either way, we will be ready for our kids like we always are every year. So today I will begin with putting my thoughts down on my art journal in anticipation for this school year. Let's begin. I start off by spraying some water on my cardstock. I then use my distress crayons and color with two colors. I use a wet napkin to move the colors around. I mainly use the green crayon and some blue. I like using the distress crayons because they give an instant color to the background without much effort. I am not worried about the streaks because eventually they will not be seen, so I'm not worried about full coverage. I decide to bring out my school blueprint stamps. These are my favorites from the Holtz products. Of course, I use my stamping platform, which I love and use a lot. My first stamp is the pencils. I love school supplies. I can wander the aisles and ogle everything I wish I could buy, but don't because I don't need them. I just want them. I also stamp the books, which, if you know me, I love to read. I have been extremely busy this summer, but I try to read a book at least once a month. Yes, they take me forever to read. I am now stamping a second set of books because I plan on layering them over each other. I also stamped this tiny apple, which I will be placing on my books, because the apple is so synonymous with teachers. And I could never forget the typewriter. I am a tech apps teacher, so a typewriter would be the perfect profile avatar for me. I use the Distress Oxide reinkers to color my books. I choose my favorite colors and begin. You really only need a tiny drop for coloring. The colors are so intense. I use my water brush pen and color in my books. This book stamp is very detailed with a lot of lines, so it makes it easy to color. I also color in a little with the distress crayons that I used with the page to help with the blending. I then cut around the edges since I will be layering it over the page. I add some more coloring and ink the edges. I also ink around the image on the page. I use the Black Soot Distress Oxide ink to go around the edges of the stamp with my water brush pen. I cut some scrap pieces to glue to the back of my stamp to raise the image. I give it one final ink edging and I glue the books down. I also use the Distress Oxide color for the apple. Notice how one tiny drop gives tons of color. I use my water brush pen and color in the apple, the stem, and the leaf. It is such a cute design. I hate that I'm losing the blueprint part of the stamp. I cut the apple and apply some Black Soot Distress Oxide on the edges. To help it pop on the page, I use glossy accents all over the apple. It will give it a shine that it deserves. I go back to my books and add some more color. It is looking a little dull, so I just want to brighten it up a little. Onto my pencils, which I love. I color them in yellow and some in black. You know what pencils I'm thinking about. They're my favorite to have in my desk. I have to tell you that these stamps are so detailed. That's what I love about rubber stamps. The images are always so good. I cut around the image so I can layer it over the page. I also place scrap pieces underneath for some height and glue it down. I can't have a typewriter on this page without having some alphabet type on the page. I stamp with a walnut stained distress ink around the empty spaces on the page. It's very subtle and blends in the background. I cover up the images so I don't stamp over them. I then stamp with these circle stamps which remind me of coffee stains. I can't start my morning without my coffee. I also add some type to the borders of the whole page. I keep on using the same distress ink so they blend in with the page and not stand out so much. I then decide to stamp the typewriter on the page itself. Originally, I had thought to layer the typewriter over a typewriter die, but just decided it was too much. I needed space for the journaling. I color the stamped image that I plan on layering. I use the same colors as I used for the books. It's such a small image, so I have enough ink for it. I do the same as the other stamps and ink around the edges and place scrap pieces in back to raise the image. I look for the perfect words for this art journal page. Some I have to cut because of the narrow spaces. I love these quote chips, so perfect for titles. I do some more random stamping around the edges to darken them up. I ink the edges one last time, and I think I'm done. Remember, today is full of possibilities. Listen to thoughts, creativity, and theories, and take notes. I will try to live with these words in mind for this new school year. And I hope to inspire my kids this year more than I did last year. Have a great year, everyone. Be safe. Bye.